करते हैं श्री किरण रिजिजू, माननीय केंद्रीय गृह राज्य मंत्री, और सदगुरु का स्वागत करें हमारे अतिथियों का। Thank you, the sounds of Isha. We will start the proceeding with the ITBP fourth song. Please stand in respect of the fourth song.
हम सरहद के सेनानी, हम सच्चे हिंदुस्तानी, हम भारत तिब्बत सीमा के हैं प्रहरी सब पहचाने। हम जैसे सैनिक कहीं नहीं, ये सच्चाई सब जाने। हम सरहद के सेनानी, हम सच्चे हिंदुस्तानी। शौर्य हमारी शान है, दृढ़ता है पहचान। भारत माता के लिए हो जाते कुर्बान। कर्म निष्ठा के पथ पर मिटने को ठानी। हम सरहद के सेनानी, हम सच्चे हिंदुस्तानी।
मेरा आग्रह है श्री आर के पचनंदा, महानिदेशक ITBP से, कि सदगुरु को प्लांटर भेंट कर उनका स्वागत करें। मेरा आग्रह महानिदेशक से कि श्री किरण रिजिजू, माननीय केंद्रीय गृह राज्य मंत्री को प्लांटर भेंट कर उनका स्वागत करें। Thank you, sir. We are honored that Sadguru is with us today. Sadguru is a yogi, mystic, and a visionary. Sadguru has been conferred the Padma Vibhushan by the Government of India in 2017, the highest amongst the annual civilian awards accorded for exceptional and distinguished service. 3 decades ago, Sadguru founded Isha Foundation, a non-profit human service organization with human well-being as its core and commitment. सदगुरु देश और विदेशों में भी सम्मानित आध्यात्मिक शिक्षक और पथ प्रदर्शक हैं। वे स्वयं एक जाने माने माउंटेनियर और ट्रैकर हैं और एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स में उनकी गहरी दिलचस्पी है। Probing and passionate, insightful, logical, and unfailingly witty, Sadguru's talks have earned him the reputation of a speaker and opinion maker of renown. With his astute and incisive grasp of current issues and world affairs, as well as his unerring scientific approach to this question of human well-being, he has been a primary speaker at the United Nations World Headquarters and Indian Economic Summit, to name a few. He has also been invited to speak at the leading educational institutions including Oxford, Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Wharton, and MIT, among others. Sadguru recently started a historic nationwide rally for rivers campaign for revitalization of India's fast depleting rivers. With a celebratory engagement with life on all levels, Sadguru's areas of active involvement encompass fields of diverse as architecture and visual design, poetry and painting, ecology and horticulture, sports, music and aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now presenting to you a film on Sadguru and Isha Foundation. आइए देखते हैं सदगुरु और ईशा फाउंडेशन पर आधारित यह विशेष फिल्म।
In the next half hour, you're going to meet a man who has a devoted following across India and indeed around the world. While yoga and meditation are at the core of his teachings to promote individual growth, the work of the foundation covers conservation, education and health. And you'll find him astonishingly pragmatic on a range of very modern-day problems. Let's meet Sadguru.
For the very first time in the history of humanity, we have the necessary resource, we have the necessary capability, we have the necessary technology to address every human problem on the planet. Even 25 years ago, we couldn't have dreamt of it. But the only thing that is missing is consciousness.
Today,
spotlight is on a project called Green Hands in India.
We started a mass campaign, and 6 years I spent planting trees in people's heads. That's the most difficult terrain, believe me. And now in the last 6 years we've been transplanting it, and that's happening much more easily.
Action for Rural Rejuvenation is mainly aimed at rejuvenating the human spirit.
English and computer skills are very essential to make these children come out of the hopeless economic and social pit they are in.
If you could first tell our viewers what is the idea behind it, initiative, insight, which is more specific towards entrepreneurs.
Whatever the nature of your business, ultimately it is all about human well-being.
Isha Foundation, a non-religious, non-profit public service organisation headquartered in southern India.
Sadguru has established Isha Institute of Inner Sciences in North America as a space for inner transformation and complete well-being. Surrounded by the serene forests of the Cumberland Plateau, Isha Institute attracts visitors from around the world for its unique programs and special events.
We've engineered the outside world in so many ways, but we've done nothing about this one. If you want to know well-being, in is the only way out. This is what I want to teach you too. That is, you can be completely intoxicated without any drug, just on life. This is a shift from wine to divine. How can you love one and hate the other when the same divine exists in all? Spiritual process is not about looking up or looking down. It is about turning inward. See, the only thing that I'm really good at is just this. I can just make the air around me just crackle with energy. Adi Yogi is the source of yoga, the first yogi.
Adi Yogi will inspire many generations to take up yoga. One truly remarkable thing that Sadguru has done is, he has made yogis out of ordinary common people.
We're tracking a mammoth movement, an incredible rally starting from Kanyakumari, reaching up to the Himalayas, all in a month with the sole purpose of rejuvenating India's rivers.
Every state is responding. This is concurrence and this is wonderful.
I'm very happy that Sadguru has taken up this cause. It should also become a people's movement for our own survival, for the survival of our children.
If you have to describe yourself in one word,
Would you consider wildlife as 2 words or 1 word?
Felicitating his Sadguru for all his spiritual contribution.
सादर आग्रह है श्री किरेन रिजिजू माननीय केंद्रीय गृह राज्य मंत्री से इस संवाद सत्र को संबोधित करने की कृपा करें।
परम आदरणीय सदगुरु जी, ITBP के DG RK पचनंदा जी, श्रीमती नीता पचनंदा जी, RK मिश्रा जी, और यहाँ सदगुरु जी के दर्शन और उनको बात को समझने के लिए और सुनने के लिए आए हुए ITBP के तमाम यहाँ हमारा साथीगण और जो मेहमान यहाँ आए हैं, आज मैं बहुत खुश हूँ एक अलग सा मुझे महसूस हो रहा है कि हमारे जो यूनिफॉर्म में जो लोग हैं उनके बीच में हमारा गुरुजी बैठे हुए हैं। जब मुझे डीजी पचनंदा साहब ने कहा कि हमारे परम आदरणीय सदगुरु जी ITBP के लोगों के बीच में आने वाले हैं, तो मैंने कहा कि इससे और सही उपयोग और अच्छी बातें हमारे लिए नहीं हो सकते हैं कि ITBP के लिए गुरुजी कुछ अपने विचार रखने वाले हैं। गुरुजी, you know very well, you are widely traveled person. I have also traveled globally. And you have been to Himalayan region, you have been to very difficult and very highly located those places in Himalayas. So that is the domain of ITBP. Our ITBP Jawans are very tough. Physically they are very strong. They can withstand any situation. Physical toughness is one thing which they have been provided right from the beginning. But what will endure them is the mental toughness. Mental toughness is something which I cannot give it to them, that you can give Guruji. Physical toughness is because of the normal training, normal system which we have already there in the ITBP and all the forces in India. But mental toughness is something which doesn't come easily. That is why when our people, whether it's the common people or our forces, they have normal problems, they should come to us, to the government, to the minister, if they need good food, good road, good light, everything. But if they have something bigger problem, confusion, tension, something related to mind, then they should go to Guruji. Guruji can provide you the answer, which I cannot provide. I have never met Guruji in person, but I have seen some of his teaching, some of the clips where he had made immense impact on the life of the common people, not only in India, but across the globe. I can tell you, Guruji, I am a religious person, but not very practicing person, but I do follow. But very few spiritual leaders influence my life. But you have influenced me immensely in my limited access to your teachings and your thoughts. I found your teachings very precise, very scientific, and very practicable. And your outlook and your description of this universe is something which can ignite anybody's mind. I would have loved to sit throughout today to hear you out, because I wanted to listen to you in person and in full detail. But unfortunately today is the day where Parliament is going to discuss no confidence motion against our government. And we are living in a democratic setup. The MP cannot be absent on the most important day in the Parliament, though we are very confident and this no confidence motion, whatever is going to be discussed, I have to be there. But I am very happy that our ITBP family is going to benefit immensely out of your words today. It's not easy for us to get your time. You have a commitment globally. You have not only represented yourself or your thoughts, you represent Indian philosophy, you represent Indian civilization. You stand out before the world. You are a symbol of India's glorious past in the whole world. We are very proud of you, Guruji. That is why our dream, our Prime Minister's dream, every Indian dream of making India a glorious, prosperous nation, recapturing our glorious past. And I think the only correct way to get to that position is following your footsteps and your teachings. I genuinely feel that every word you speak, every sentences you tell us, I think that is something which we have to follow. That is why we look up at you, and I thank our Director General of ITBP, R.K. Pachananda ji, for getting you on board and making this arrangement in the Vigyan Bhavan. So in this Vigyan Bhavan, our people are going to get the real Gyan from you, Guruji. I'm very happy, and I'm once again extremely disappointed that I'm not going to be here. Going to Parliament, I'm already late, but I'm sure the benefit which our forces are going to get from you, not only ITBP, the entire forces, every citizen of this nation is benefiting from your teaching. Nobody can run away from that reality. So I'm one of them. I'm actually one of your followers. So we are very extremely grateful from Home Ministry side, from our forces side. We're extremely grateful to Guruji Sadguru to come here and spend this valuable time, his valuable time with us. और मैं अपना ITBP जवानों को कहना चाहता हूँ कि आपका सुख दुख हम लोग सब साथी हैं। मैं तो जब हिमालय में जाता हूँ और जब 1500 फीट, 1600 फीट, 1700 फीट, 1800 फीट के ऊपर में ITBP के जवानों के साथ मैं बहुत बार गया हूँ, रहता हूँ, तो आपका जो मुसीबत है, आपका जो तकलीफ है उस जगह में रह करके वो हम समझ सकते हैं। नॉर्मली यहाँ पे दिल्ली वगैरह में तो हम आराम से अपना ज़िंदगी हम व्यतीत करते हैं, लेकिन उस 1700-1800 फीट के ऊपर में लगातार महीने भर, 5 महीने, 6 महीने बाहर के दुनिया से दूर, परिवार से दूर रहना ये आसान नहीं है। उसके लिए सदगुरु जी का जो ज्ञान है, उनका जो विचार है, ये बहुत काम आने वाला है। इसलिए मैं आपको बधाई देता हूँ और हमारा जो डीजी साहब है, पचनानंद साहब है, उनको खास करके मैं बधाई देता हूँ कि आपने बहुत अच्छा कार्यक्रम रखा। और क्योंकि मुझे संसद जाना है तो मैं माफ़ी चाहता हूँ कि आपके बीच में मैं नहीं रहूँगा, लेकिन आपका जो ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट, बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण समय है, आप इसको अच्छा से ध्यान से गुरुजी की बातों को सुनिए और उससे आपका ज़िंदगी में जो भी फ़ायदा ला सकते हैं उसको आप अपनाइए। आप सबको मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद और ख़ास करके गुरुजी को मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Yes, sir. I will now request Sadguru ji to come onto the stage. कृपया करताल ध्वनि से सदगुरु जी का स्वागत करें।
Sadguru ji, as you would be aware, we are all members of ITBP, which is primarily deployed in very harsh terrain and very, very difficult weather conditions. And we remain separated from our families for long duration of time. The duties are also very, very difficult. Kindly guide us as to how can we lead a stress-free life under such circumstances and such kind of conditions.
Namaskaram to everyone. As you know that today in the world, a lot of people plan their pleasure trips to mountain treks. So, what is considered a harsh duty, somebody thinks is pleasure. Only thing is they don't have to be there the whole year, that is their thing, they're there by choice. So I'm not trying to belittle the forces, what they go through. To be in any fighting force itself, one needs to have a deep sense of sacrifice, because we all stick out in some way, but the forces are sticking their lives out, which is not a small thing. And when we talk about stress, there are various levels of stress, physical stress, mental stress. As everybody has said, and I myself have seen, from the age of 19, for the next 27 years, every year I was in the Indian part of Himalayas trekking. Last 14 years I've been trekking in Tibet and Nepal. So I've been around where your forces are deployed. My closest contact with your forces is once an ITBP truck gave me a lift for about 20-25 kilometers when the roads were blocked and I was walking alone in the evening. A truck which was, they used to have those four-wheel drive Tata trucks, the big ones. So there were only 4 soldiers and I waved to them and they took me for this 25 kilometers. So that was the closest interaction I had with them. So when you say stress, people who live in Delhi are stressed. People who live in New York are stressed. People who are living in Delhi, they think if they go to America, they will live wonderful. Go and see the people in America, they're super stressed, they're going crazy. 42% of the American population is on some kind of psychiatric medication. If they don't have their evening drink, half of them will go crazy. So people in Delhi are going crazy. Just now the minister said, in Delhi we can be aram. Ask the people in Delhi, they're always screaming complaints. So essentially stress is not caused by the situations in which we live. Stress is our inability to manage our own system. When your thought, your emotion, your body, your chemistry doesn't take instructions from you, you become stressful. Now the important thing is to understand that this is a very sophisticated machine. What you call as human mechanism is the most sophisticated machine on the planet, isn't it? Highest level of technology. When you're handling something of such high performance, everything else we have created, whether it's a computer or a spacecraft or anything, all has come out of this machine, isn't it? Yes. So this is a mother machine for all that. So this is the most sophisticated machine. I'm asking you, have you read the user's manual? Have you? Read the user's manual. That's the only problem human beings have. They do not know their system well enough. They do not know how subtle it is and what all it can do. If only your thought and your emotion took instructions from you, would you be joyful or stressful? This is there in all levels of life. Every other life recognizes this. I don't know if it's… you okay if I tell you a little story? I learned this very young. When I was 10, 11 years of age, I spent a lot of time in the forests of southern India, alone by myself, 3 days, 4 days, as long as my bread lasted. Just 2 loaves of bread and I'm gone. As long as my bread lasts, I just wander around in the jungle, no torch, no watch either. I got my first watch only after I passed my 10th standard. That is how the standards were those days. So, no watch, no torch, no any kind of equipment. But I noticed that every other creature is able to manage, and why is me struggling? As I observed, I understood that there is a certain way you can keep your chemistry. Even now I can do this. I can just go in the forest, a wild cobra or something, I can just pick it up like this, he will just come without any disturbance. I think they showed one picture of me holding a king cobra. Well, if king cobra bites you, you have somewhere between 20 to 40 minutes to live. Okay. I'm not holding him by his head, I'm just holding him like this. because he's sensing your chemistry. If you show any sense of anxiety, he will immediately go for you. If he doesn't see anything, he treats you like he treats the land. Later on when I went into the jungles and survived for weeks on end by myself, people wondered how I survived. I drank a lot of honey, they never understood this. I put a plastic tube into the hives and just drank when the hive was full of bees. And they just thought I am a bigger bee. If you show little anxiety, they will kill you. So there is a way of managing our system. Every human experience, whether stress or joy or misery or blissfulness or agony or ecstasy, everything has a chemical basis to it, isn't it? All human experience has a chemical basis to it. Or in other words, this is a chemical soup. The question is only, is this a great soup or a lousy soup? If I give soup-making ingredients to all the people here, you think, same ingredients, you think they will all produce the same kind of soup? 1,000 varieties will come. That's all that's happened to us. Fundamentally, all of us are same ingredients. See in how many ways we made ourselves. So, what is needed is a little bit of soup-making skill. All the time, the world is focused, most human beings are focused on how to handle the outside. No, the most important thing is you know how to handle this. If you know how to handle this, outside is just a play. Very effortlessly you can handle. Right now, everything, in every situation, you yourself are an issue, especially for a fighting force. It's very important, you are never the issue, isn't it? There are issues outside, dangerous issues outside, which need to be dealt with. But if you become an issue in that, your own anxiety, fear and something else comes up in that, now your ability to perform what you need to perform is terribly impaired, isn't it? So it's very important that in the forces, I would request that your chief is here, that you bring some dimension of inner management, something that people know how to manage their interiority, not just being tough. Tough is needed. For the kind of job that you're involved in, being tough is needed, but being balanced is even more important. Whatever talents you have, whatever capabilities you have, all will go waste if you don't have balance. Only one who is perfectly balanced can use everything he or she has to the fullest extent. Otherwise, you may have many things, if you don't have balance, it'll all spill all over the place, your talent. It doesn't produce any result. So, stress is not a consequence of situations. Stress is a consequence of our inability to handle ourselves. We must equip ourselves in that direction.
Sadguru, how can we negate and manage negativity to achieve more happiness in our life?
Why do you want to manage negativity? You like it?
Just to become a positive-minded?
No. I must tell you this. Many years ago when I first went to United States, wherever I went, everybody was talking about stress management. I kind of wondered, why would anybody want to manage stress? Because in my understanding, we manage whatever is precious to us, our family, our business, our wealth, our money, whatever is precious to us, why would you want to manage stress? It took me a while to understand people have made a conclusion that stress is a part of their life. Stress or negativity or whatever you want to call it is not a part of your life, you're making it up, isn't it? So, your negativity, where is the manufacturing unit? No, where is the manufacturing unit? Where does it come from? From yourself. You just have to shut down that factory. Why do you want to manage a factory that you don't want? If you're producing something that you don't want, why are you trying to manage it? What you want, you must manage, isn't it? So, oh, is it that simple? Will it go away? The thing is this, no positivity comes, no negativity comes from within you. Only thoughts come. Yes? Thoughts come from what? From whatever you have seen today, from whatever you have experienced in your life. Based on variety of inputs that have gone into you, thoughts are getting generated. Now you want to defeat a particular thought, you want to fight it. I know you're a soldier, but there are certain things you cannot fight because they don't exist. How to fight something that you don't exist? Can I tell you a joke? Hello? Yes. This happened to an Indian man who went to California, of course as a technology person. Then he started playing in the stock market, and in 1996, I think, he made a huge amount of money. He had a windfall, hundreds of millions of dollars he made. And just the previous year, he had divorced his wife very appropriately, because in California law, if you divorce, you have to give 50% to your wife. After he divorced his wife, he made this huge amount of money. He's already over 60 years of age, so he wants to spend it on himself. He bought himself a Ferrari, 1932 Ferrari, which is $36 million. He bought an $80 million home in Beverly Hills. Like this, he went about splurging upon himself. Then he decided to have a medical test. In Northern California, there are medical institutions which are swankier than 7-star hotels. It's not like some dreary medical test that you go through in the forces. 15 days you admit yourself, you can choose your tests. All kinds of esoteric tests, they'll check your aura, the length of your aura, the color of your aura and all this kind of stuff. So, a nice place, it's like a resort, and they appointed a young woman, pretty-looking woman, who was taking care of him. He liked the entire experience. On the 4th day, he was lying down in his bed. Unfortunately, what should happen in the toilet happened on the bed. Now he saw how to clear up this mess, he's messed up the bed. Not knowing what to do, he was thinking about it. Just then he heard the footsteps of this young lady who was coming towards his room. He didn't want this young woman to see the mess on the bed. Unfortunately, in America, ladies don't walk quietly, they walk talk, 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 you know. So when he heard this talk, talk, he knew she's coming, he doesn't want her to see this mess. Not knowing what to do, he picked up all the sheets and threw it out of the 5th floor window. Down below, a regular man was just going home from a party. Such an unfair world. See, a man is expected to walk on a round planet, and the damn thing is spinning all the time. With great difficulty, this they realize only after parties that the planet is round. He was walking sideways and going home. It helps to go sideways, isn't it? He was walking sideways and going home. Just then the sheets came and covered him. He screamed and yelled and fought with the sheets. It took him over 2 minutes to get the sheets down. By then the security came rushing and they asked, "What's all the commotion about?" He was standing there dazed, looking at these white sheets on the ground. He said, "It looks like I've beaten the shit out of a ghost." So these are ghosts that you create and then you fight. If you enjoy the fight, fight for some time. But you must know these ghosts are your creation. And the ghosts that you create, if you win over them, then you're really lost, isn't it? So there is no need to fight negativity, you just have to understand it's you who's creating it, not this yours. It's your finger, it's not you, isn't it? Similarly, it's your thought, it's not you. So, what is you and what is yours, if there's a little space, these things are finished in one shot. So we can give you a simple process, it's called Isha Kriya, it's available on any phone, you can download an app and just do it. This will be wonderful for the forces because the physical demands, I'm saying, the physical demands that are there on a person when you're in the mountains. Every year, I've been there for more than 40 years, in some mountains all the time. Now in August, I'm going to Tilicho Lake in Nepal. Yeah, about 17,400 feet, I think. So every time I go to the mountains, my body creaks, tough, muscles hurt, knees hurt, bad toilets or no toilets, all this, then I think, oh, I've done enough mountains, this is it. This year I'm closing it. But within 3 months, again I'm planning the next trip. Because in spite of all the physical stress that happens to you, there is something that you cannot do without out there. I'm sure when they are there, they're cursing at you, send them back home, they want to go back to the mountains. But the important thing is when there is such a physical stress on the body, when you're stretching your body beyond limits, having a little distance between you and the body, between you and the mind is of tremendous importance. We can give you a simple method called Isha Kriya, with which you create a distance between you and your body, between you and your mind. Suddenly you see, you're able to do things with your body and mind like you never imagined possible. You don't have to fight you don't have to encourage positivity, fight negativity, no such thing. Being realistic is very important. Maybe the situation is negative, you better see the negativity, especially being a soldier. You cannot be very positive. You must see what is there. You must be always expecting the worst. If you're expecting the best all the time, somebody will give you the worst, isn't it? So, you should not get into this business of positivity, negativity. This is for American socialite ladies. They're talking all these fanciful things because nothing happens in their life except breakfast, lunch and dinner. When they're having breakfast, they're planning their lunch. When they're having lunch, they're planning dinner. This is all they do. For them, all these things. For you who's out there ticking your life out, it's very important. You have clarity of mind, you simply see what is there, neither positive nor negative. Very important.
Namaskaram Sadguru. I would like to ask that as ITBP personnel, sometimes we face certain ups and downs in our professional lives. Sometimes we see situations where even life is at stake. So in those situations, how to keep our morale high in those rather frequent psychological tides?
See, human mind is a complex, very complex structure. We are who we are on this planet. As human beings, we are dominating this planet compared to every other creature only because of our intelligence, not because of our strength, isn't it? You have seen with great difficulty when you're walking up the mountain, those mountain goats ran up at 10 times your speed. Just a goat? Yes or no, in any kind of terrain. So, physical strength is not our forte. We have an intelligence. But this intelligence is useful to you only if it works for you. When it works against you, initially you call it stress, then you call it misery, then you call it psychological disorder, then you declare this is total madness. All that's happened is, your intelligence has turned against you, isn't it? So it's extremely important for anybody, not just for a soldier, and particularly for a soldier, as you said, because you're sticking your life out. But even for a man who's driving on the street right now, if his intelligence doesn't work for him, he could also die, isn't it? In fact, more people die on the streets than on the battlefields all over the world, particularly in India. Every year, about 140,000 people die on the Indian roads. That many people have not died in all the 4 wars, probably. Unfortunate reality is happening every day, because somewhere there are situations beyond us that's different. But We should not be the problem, isn't it? If we should not be the problem, our intelligence should work 100% for us. If you say stress, what does it mean? This means your intelligence is not working for you, it's turning against you. Outside there is somebody creating a problem for you. Instead of dealing with that, my own intelligence turns against me. Then how do I handle the outside? When you get stressed, do you feel crippled or not? Your capabilities are taken away. What you were normally capable of is taken away simply because of stressfulness or fear or anxiety or something else that grips you. But this is from inside. This is your mind turning against you, isn't it? So there are simple processes with which we can ensure that our body, our chemistry, our mind does not turn against us. Always works for me. It's very important. If this starts working against me, suppose my right hand starts punching me in my face, what to do? If somebody else tries to punch me, I can do things. But if my hand starts punching me, what to do? It's a most helpless situation. Right now, this is all that's happening. To 90% of the human beings on the planet, their own mind batters them every day. They don't need anybody else, they don't need an enemy. They are very good at it by themselves. They beat themselves up through the day and night. This must stop. Human potential and human genius can open up only when your intelligence never works against you, it always works for you. It's very important. Some harnessing is missing, isn't it? As I said, people don't bother to read the user's manual of such a complex machine. And they want to do it somehow. When it works accidentally, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Sadguru, unity in discipline, harmony, camaraderie, these are all the strengths of the armed forces. In your opinion, what more is required for us to make us stronger from within?
Balance. Balance and clarity. If one is absolutely balanced, you will see suddenly human beings are able to do things that they never thought they could do in their life, simply because they're balanced. So you must understand this. Your own internal issues, how much energy it's consuming every day if you look at this. Just to tell you from my own experience, for almost 25 years of my life, I, on an average, slept between 2.5 to 3 hours a day. So over 20 hours a day, I was active. These days, they're getting a little lazy and sleeping 4.5 hours a day. Why I'm telling you this is, sleep is maintenance time for the body. So any machine you have, let's say you have an automobile, once in a month, if you have to down the machine for maintenance, 1 day in 30 days, it's all right. But 15 days in a month, if it's down for maintenance, this is a nuisance machine, better to get a mule, isn't it? So right now, in 24 hours, if 8–10 hours is maintenance time for anybody, any body, it's a nuisance machine, isn't it? Why is this happening? One reason is your own system consumes so much energy simply because of lack of balance within itself. While you're climbing a mountain, if the footing is right, you're going… there is a demand on every muscle when you're going up. But suppose you lost little balance, do you see suddenly how much energy it consumes? Mild, just off. This is happening within you all the time. I'm not talking about physical balance only, your chemical balance, mental balance, every time it's a little off, it's consuming an enormous amount of energy. So because of that, there is not enough energy for life as a process. Because of that, there is more maintenance to the system because it's out of balance. if you bring balance, the maintenance levels that the body demands will go down considerably. And the energy that you have also will be almost boundless simply because you're balanced and it doesn't consume any energy. Whether it's anything, if an automobile, if the four wheels are not properly aligned, well, it will not perform, isn't it? Balance is most important. You're riding a bicycle. How long ago you learned to ride a bicycle? How long ago you learned?
Sometimes I go to office.
No, how long ago did you learn to ride a bicycle?
Childhood, around 1 month, when I was 4 years old.
So, first day when you're riding the bicycle, it's like this because you don't have balance. It's very exhausting. Once you have balance, you see how much freedom, hands-free, you can ride, you can look here and there, you can whistle at somebody, you can do what you want. What gave you that freedom is balance, isn't it? This is so even now. What gives you freedom is your balance, how you are physically fit, but you may be consuming a lot of energy within yourself simply because the lack of balance. If you bring balance, you will see suddenly you have so much energy. I've always seen when people start a certain process, a certain kriya, certain balance comes, suddenly they become so creative. They're able to create things which they never thought possible in their life, simply because energies are available for many things. And everything that this person can do, you can do. See, this is one thing we must understand. In our lives, if we do not do what we cannot do, no problem. But if we do not do what we can do, we are a disaster, isn't it? Once you don't have balance, this is a disaster that's happening to every human being. Due to lack of balance, what they could do, they will not do. What we cannot do, what to do? That's okay. But what we can do must happen in our lives, isn't it?
Guruji, you talked about balance. All of us do agree to it, and consciously or subconsciously, many of us feel that it is required. Are there any known methods? How do you attain this inner balance that you are talking about, especially in context to the forces and in the kind of circumstances we work in?
For the forces particularly, we have structured a program of what is called as Upa-yoga as a preparatory step. It is part of a larger system called Angamardana. Angamardana literally means to kill the limbs. Killing the limbs means, if you have prepared your body in a certain way, you don't know whether you have limbs or not. It's that comfortable. Somebody's dead means what? You don't feel their presence, isn't it? So your limbs are in such a state that you don't feel them. Just imagine going up the mountain, if you couldn't feel your limbs, what a fantastic thing it would be. Or in other words, to master the limbs in such a way that they are in a certain state. One is of physical strength, another dimension is of balance. For this, there's a combination of things, a system of Upa-yoga, along with what is called as Isha Kriya. This is something you can anybody can download on their phone. It's guided. Initially you do it guided for some time, afterwards you can just do it anywhere, anytime. Initially you practice like a proper practice for 12 minutes a day, or once or twice a day. Rest, after that you can do it just anywhere. 1 minute you're standing somewhere, you can do it, sitting somewhere, you can do it. It will bring balance. See, the lack of balance is not because of the nature of life. Lack of balance is because of the way we're holding our life, the way we understand and hold our life. This is the lack of balance. But life itself is absolutely balanced, otherwise it wouldn't happen. Just to tell you how balanced it is, just look at this. Inhalation, exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation. Next inhalation did not happen, poof, this man is gone. See how fragile it is. There must be tremendous sense of balance. To balance life that is so important for me, on such a simple thing, just the breath going in, going out. If it goes out and it did not go back, it's finished. That fragile it is. At the same time, how sturdy it is, how many things a man can do. It is absolutely balanced. It is on this balance that the life is happening. You have to get in tune with your life. You're naturally balanced. Balance is not something that you have to create. It is there in the process of life. Imbalance is happening only because of your thought and emotion. If you get closer to your life process rather than to your thought process, you will be naturally balanced. There is a physical process, physiological process, psychological process, and a life process. You're essentially life or body or physiology or psychology. Which one are you? Life? Your life? These are all attachments, isn't it? Essentially over a period of time, but essentially life, isn't it? So if you're close to that, which you call as life, balance is natural. Imbalance is happening only on the level of psychological space. But right now people have attached importance, significance to the psychological process more than the life process, way of approaching life, where thought is most important. In this culture, in the yogic culture, we give no significance to your thought. You think whatever damn things you want, we don't care a damn what you think about it. Because life is more important. You must decide now. Is your thought more important, life more important? Yes, but just because people are thinking in a certain way, they're even willing to take their life, isn't it? Yes, psychological process, when it becomes more important than life process, even suicide will happen. It's happening to young people. Even children below 15 years of age, last year over 7,000 children below 15 years of age have committed suicide in this country. 15 years of age, when you should be exuberant with life. Because we are committing ourselves to thought process rather than committing ourselves to the life process. We are here as a life. Physiology and psychology is an additional aspect to us. But when you become very aligned with your psychological process, which is all over the place, balance is impossible. If you get aligned with the life process, you are perfectly balanced always. Just feel this and see what kind of balance is there. Life is being balanced between inhalation and exhalation. How fragile but how fantastic.